Hey, beautiful people of the internet, my name is Ryan, and I never, ever do tag videos. But I also never, ever film videos on Fridays. And yet here we are. Today's extra video is going to be the New York Times by the book tag, which was created by Marie Berg, and I was tagged by the Poptimist, which is also maybe the reason that I'm doing this tag, because I am a tiny bit of a fangirl over the Poptimist. I'll include links to channels and stuff in the description below. Anyways, I'm super excited to get started, so let's hop right in. First question is, what book is on your nightstand right now? The short answer is that there are too many to count, but I'll pick out some really quickly. And White Noise by Don DeLillo, Sister Carrie by Theodore Dreiser. I have to reread The Road by Cormac McCarthy for class. Crying of Lot 49, and some Mark Doty poems. Those are the first ones that I saw. What was the last truly great book that you read? I am gonna keep this really dang short and just say Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. I've got a video on it if you would like to watch that. It blew my mind. If you could meet any writer, dead or alive, who would it be, and what would you want to know? I have been struggling pretty hard with this for a while now. I actually looked at this question yesterday. I would love to talk to Flannery O'Connor. I don't think I would like meeting Jonathan Franzen, but I think it would be interesting, and I would learn some things. David Foster Wallace is on that list. Also Harper Lee. But in the end, I narrowed it down to, I would love to have a dinner with John Steinbeck. After moving out to California, I'm still in the rapid upswing of my Steinbeck education. And he also wrote East of Eden, which is in my top 3 favorite books ever. We're also not ever going to get into the top list on this channel because I don't want to try and narrow that down. But anyways, I would love to just have 24 hours with John Steinbeck and I just want to hear him talk about East of Eden. That's it. What books might we be... That is a really hard one to say. What books might we be surprised to find on your shelves? I feel like this is only a surprise because of the books that I review on this channel. But if you know me and you know how much I love space, then this is less of a surprise. But I've got The Martian. I read this in the fall mostly, how do I say this? Mostly for the contents of the book. We'll leave it at that. Next question, how do you organize your personal library? Shoot, don't look at it. I was really hoping to never talk about this. So when I moved out to California in the fall and I only got to bring some of my books with me and I didn't get to bring a bookshelf, I was in such a rush to build this bookshelf that when I was finally done, I just threw my books on the bookshelf. In fact, and I'm sure some of you have noticed this in past videos, but my Harry Potter books are just in random order. I'm biting my nails now because I'm nervous that people are judging me. Okay, time to bite the bullet. So I am an alphabetical type person, and there is my to be read still shelf down here in the dark corner where I can try and forget about it for a few days at a time. Alrighty, on to the next ones. You know what I've just realized, now that I've worked up a sweat putting all of my books on the shelf in the right order? I have about 4 months until I move again to a new apartment and get to do all that again. Alrighty, now that we have knocked that out of the way, let's do some more questions. Anything you feel embarrassed never to have read? Now that I've just reorganized my books, I actually have a great answer to that question. I even set it on top because of how badly I need to read it so that I can enter into 50% of the conversations I feel like that happen around me. And that's Lolita by Nabokov. This copy, which I got for 50 cents, is not a lot of words per page and it's 280 pages. Come on, Ryan, you can read the dang thing. In a weekend, probably. But the broader answer to this question is, I have found that contrary to common sense, and contrary to any kind of logic, the more books that I read, the books that I feel ashamed about not having read yet, that list just continues to go up. I'm sure you guys all know what I'm talking about, but like, you read a book, you tell someone about it, and they're like, oh yeah, have you heard of his bigger book? Or like, of her 14 sequels to that book? And thus, the to-be-read pile continues to grow. Not that I'm disturbed by it or anything. What book did you feel you were supposed to like but didn't? And do you remember the last book you put down without finishing? Ooh. I have an answer to that, but it's not exactly what the question is talking about. This is the book that I think about anytime someone talks to me about having not finished a book, because I have tried in 3 separate years, I believe, to finish this book by the end of the year so that I could add it to my list of like books completed in that year, and I've never done it. And you'll see why in a second. It's the Granta Book of American Short Stories, which, 1, is a beautiful cover, but 2, is long as crap. It's like 750 pages of short stories. It's got 44 stories in it, which isn't a ton, but if you were to try and read 1 story a week in this thing, which is, you know, a decent pace if you're reading other things as well, it would take you an entire year almost to finish it. Anyways, I think I'm about halfway through this big chunk of a book, and it's probably not even going to be finished in 2016, because that's how my luck's going. What kinds of stories are you drawn to, and are there any that you stay clear of? I really like big novels, not that it's shown on the channel so far, and honestly I don't feel that I've had the opportunity to read and or review all of the big novels that I want to. I think I could spend the next 2 years doing that. I just really love big projects. And I guess in terms of like major turnoffs for a book, the only thing I can really think of is that I just have very little fun reading books in which the sentence level writing is not interesting or not polished. Like, if you aren't having fun with the language, then I'm probably not going to have a ton of fun reading your book. There's a certain book, which I've already mentioned in this video, but shall remain unnamed, which is a good example of this. It uses, I talk about this all the time because it kind of drives me nuts. It uses as a legitimate sentence in the novel, capital U-G-H exclamation point. And that is just not interesting. If you could require the president to read 1 book, what would it be? Honestly, I would be down to take some reading recommendations from the president as well. But in terms of a recommendation that I would give to the president, whoever it may be at the time, actually, I would recommend Tracy Kidder's nonfiction book, Mountains Beyond Mountains, which I've talked about before in passing on the channel. I just don't think that it could hurt to have the President of the United States reading and talking about global health on a more daily basis. And the last question, what do you plan to read next? I'm actually almost always reading 3 or 4 books at a time, kind of out of necessity. Let's see. I'm reading Sister Carrie for grad school right now. I'm currently reading Packing for Mars, which is this really fun nonfiction book about space, because space. I'm also usually flipping through 1 or 2 poetry books at a time, just like reading random poems. And then to get to the real heart of this question, I don't usually say what book I'm going to read and think about reviewing next for the channel, because I like to leave myself some wiggle room, but I'm going to read White Noise by Don DeLillo. A lot of you have commented about the book recently, and actually I got the book for Christmas, so it's been sitting on my shelf staring at me for a while, but I think that's the book that I will likely review next, depending on if it does all of the things I talked about in that books I won't review video. Alrighty, that is all that I've got for the New York Times by the book tag. Thank you again to Marie Berg for creating this tag, and then to the Poptimist for tagging me. I am going to spread the love a little bit because I would really love to see the answers to this tag from 4 booktubers who I really admire. And those 4 booktubers are Kristen over at Vienna Waits Books, Erica at Erica SOS Books. I think that means Snogging on Sundays, if I remember correctly. She was my 100th subscriber, so throwback to that. Erica at The Perks of Books, and then Melissa at The Bookish Babbler. Feel free to do the tag. I would love to see you guys' answers. Alright, that's all I've got. Apparently, because I am a great scheduler, here in like 3 days, I'm going to come at you guys with a vlog. This has been a YouTube full week, but I've really kind of enjoyed it. So, alright, I'll see you guys soon. Best wishes! Hey, beautiful people of the internet, my name is Ryan, and today's video is a book review of Haruki Murakami's novel, The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle.